about Lil Baby, bro. It's not Lil Baby, what the hell, bro? And nobody was going with a nigga.
The flight, I get on the flight at 5 a.m. by myself. Haven't heard from her. Then the next day, she at Lil Baby restaurant leaving taste test reviews. I'm like, this what you do?
I want to take accountability for all the girls that was following that because I made everything look cool. That was just me in survival mode. For real, and not like taking it through or setting back or...
Now, Chrisean Rock just dropped an accusation so outrageous, it makes all the messy back and forth with Blueface look like a warm-up. While fighting for her baby, crying on live, and clapping back at Blueface, Chrissy suddenly claimed that Lil Baby tried to pimp her out to one of his wealthy sugar daddies for threesomes. She said the whole thing was a setup, and she was supposed to be the product. And here's the wild part. It didn't come out of nowhere.
Lil Baby though, was Lil Baby trying to fuck?
Blueface wasn't trying to...
I know I wasn't asking about Blueface, I was asking about Lil Baby.
I'm saying, like, it don't start like that.
For months, Blueface has been locked in on this Lil Baby angle, constantly accusing Chrisean of sneaking around with him, dragging his name into arguments, and even slipping slick mentions into his songs. So when Chrisean finally snapped and dropped this bomb, people didn't know whether to laugh, gasp, or believe her. Some fans thought she was trolling, while others said it actually explained why Blueface was so paranoid about Lil Baby from the start. And honestly, if there's even a little truth to what Chrisean described, that's not just messy, it's straight up exploitation. The fact that she aired it out in the middle of a custody battle made it even harder. But here's the thing. Before Chrisean ever blasted Lil Baby, the drama with Blueface was already spiraling. Right after she gave birth, instead of stepping up as a father, Blueface was on Twitter firing shots, calling her selfish, and threatening to take their newborn away. He even tweeted, "If she don't take my son serious and make that her main focus and priority for at least 30 days, I will file for custody. My kid not going to be molested and touched on like everybody in her family. Dead homies, I don't play them type of games." That wasn't just a rant. That was Blueface basically announcing to the world that he was ready to weaponize the courts against her, while the baby was barely out of the hospital.
Nobody taking my kid. Nobody taking my baby from me, yo. Nobody taking my baby from me, yo. You know how much I took when I was pregnant with him? Nobody taking my baby from me.
But here's where it all starts connecting like a puzzle. Right in the middle of their mess, Blueface kept dragging Lil Baby into the picture. He accused Chrisean of sneaking around and said she cared more about industry connections than their own child. One of their biggest blow-ups even happened because he swore she was spending time with Lil Baby right before she gave birth. Chrissy later went live crying and screaming, "You made it about Lil Baby, bro. This is not Lil Baby's baby." Hearing her breakdown like that showed just how deep Blue's paranoia really runs. From the start, this custody battle had Lil Baby's name stamped all over it, and that messy setup made everything spiral even worse. While Blueface was on Twitter firing off rants, Chrisean decided to speak for herself. But instead of her usual trolling energy, she went live in tears. This wasn't the loud, chaotic crying people are used to seeing. This was raw, shaky, and honestly painful to watch. She kept repeating over and over that nobody was going to take her baby away, and that line hit different. No matter how you feel about her, everyone saw how rough her pregnancy was. The fights, the stress, the chaos. She carried all that weight while still bringing her son into the world. So when she cried about protecting him, you could tell it came from a real and vulnerable place. Fans packed the comments with all kinds of reactions. Some thought it was powerful to see Chrisean so protective. Like one person who said they hoped her family helped her lock in the custody paperwork because she clearly loves that baby and finally found the love she was chasing. Others saw it as a moment of strength, cheering her on to keep God first and stand tall with women who've been through the same struggles. But no matter how you looked at it, the live made one thing crystal clear. Chrisean was done letting everyone else control her story. And just as the chaos with Blueface was peaking, Lil Baby finally snapped after being dragged into the mess over and over again. And when he spoke up, he wasn't laughing, he was fed up. He hit Twitter with straight heat. "I ain't with the trolling-ish. I be laughing at certain stuff, but right now, stop playing. I ain't never tried to talk to no Chrisean. Please stop attaching my name to that." Then he doubled down with another tweet. I seen her at a party and told her some real. She know I never tried to talk to her. I know I bring attention, but Chrisean even trolling about a child and stuff is too far. Thanks. The vibe in those tweets was nothing but frustration. Lil Baby wasn't just denying. He was practically begging folks to stop tying his name to her drama. And that's wild, because Lil Baby is usually laid back and never feeds into internet beef like this. Of course, fans instantly went off with theories. Some said his tweets proved he really had nothing to do with Chrisean. Others argued that the fact he even had to address it showed just how messy things had gotten. Either way, Lil Baby made it clear he wanted zero part of that storyline. But the second he cleared the air, Chrisean swooped in to spin the moment for herself. Instead of letting Lil Baby's denial close the book, she flipped it into her own proof. She jumped online and posted, "See, he finally said it. Facts. Told y'all I've been attached to his name because my baby daddy insecure is... I saw it. Someone tell Blue he can stop trolling me."
Cute on that homeboy story. I like that. It was like, he gave me a compliment. But that's the only part that, he was really giving me advice and was just like, yo, you emotional. What do you do? I said, whoa.
Lil Baby said that.
Yeah. And I'm like, alright. She's like, what? You talking to me like you really that cool, man.
That was peak Chrisean messy, but also low-key victorious. She wasn't just happy Lil Baby cleared things up, she was gloating like, look, I wasn't lying. Blue was making all this up in his head. Then she piled on with another shot saying, I'm done trolling. I just needed Lil Baby to clear the air because my baby daddy gave me hell over a ninja and won't believe me about anything. It came off like a mix between a sigh of relief and a victory lap. But here's the twist. Even though Lil Baby denied the rumors, the way Chrisean spun it only kept the fire going. She didn't just move on, she used his words as ammo to drag Blueface even harder, and then she dropped a bomb that pushed everything into darker territory. Chrisean claimed Lil Baby wasn't just loosely tied to her name. He was actually trying to sell her off to one of his rich sugar daddies for threesomes. She painted it like a setup, saying Baby lined her up like a business transaction, like she was supposed to be the entertainment in some wealthy man's bedroom. And let's be real, this isn't the kind of accusation you just pull out of thin air. The way she said it, emotional and heated, felt like something she'd been holding on to for a while. In that moment, she even brought up how Lil Baby once complimented her, and the way she described it didn't sound innocent at all. Not gonna lie, I get why some folks actually believed Chrisean's side of this. When you look at the timing, Blueface's obsession with Lil Baby suddenly makes way more sense. If he knew or even suspected something shady was happening behind the scenes, his constant paranoia adds up. And let's be honest, the way Lil Baby got so defensive in those tweets didn't exactly kill the suspicion either. You can't tell me people weren't side-eyeing that. This isn't the kind of claim that just fades away. If what Chrisean is saying has even a shred of truth, then this isn't just messy baby mama drama. It's exploitation. And that's disturbing on a whole different level. The second Chrisean dropped that sugar daddy bomb, the internet split straight down the middle. Some said she was being extra, while others felt like she was finally exposing something real. Either way, the comments were on fire. One fan wrote, "You have to get it together. If it's not true, move on and ignore him." But that's the whole issue. Chrisean can't just ignore it. Blueface keeps tossing Lil Baby's name into the mix, and now she's tied to accusations way too heavy to just block and scroll past. Another person hit her with some tough love, saying, "Stop letting that clown mess with your mental, ma."
If me and anybody got beef, why the first thing y'all try to say anything is about my son? My son got nothing to do with this argument. My son or my got nothing to do with our argument. Go toe to toe with me. Stop trying to throw up shit, because I can throw up your...
He's miserable and wants you to be as well. He wants attention and wants to feel like he's important. Don't allow it. Every time you let him get to you, he's controlling and dragging you down another notch. Stop allowing it, baby. And honestly, that one hit hard, because if you really read between the lines, this isn't just about Blueface anymore. Fans are starting to lump Lil Baby into the same category. Men who use their power to control, manipulate, or exploit her. That's exactly why the sugar daddy accusation didn't just vanish into thin air. People see a pattern now, and they're tired of watching Chrisean spiral right in the middle of it. Comment after comment poured in with fans literally begging her to just walk away, drop the drama, and focus on her baby. And honestly, that plea was everywhere. It showed not only how exhausted the audience is, but also how sad the situation looks. Because here's the harsh truth. Chrisean can't just walk away. if what she's saying about Lil Baby has any truth to it. If a superstar rapper really tried to pass her off to his rich friend, this isn't just about her dignity. It's about protecting her son from growing up in a world where his mom is treated like property. That's a whole different fight. The fan reactions basically split into two camps. One side clowning her to move on, the other whispering that maybe, just maybe, she's exposing something real about how deep this exploitation runs. And the reason people didn't dismiss the sugar daddy claim as pure trolling is simple. They've already watched her stuck in the same ugly cycle with Blueface. Their entire relationship has been a loop of abuse everyone recognizes by now. First comes the love bombing. After every ugly blowout, Blue parades her online, showers her with gifts, or crowns her queen again. And Chrisean? She jumps right back into defending him, swearing nobody else understands their bond. That's the honeymoon phase, the hook that reels her back every single time. And in those moments, you see Chrisean standing by Blueface like nothing ever happened, as if the chaos didn't just destroy her hours earlier. Then comes the tension stage. You know the vibes, the slick digs in interviews, shady tweets, messy back and forth lives. Fans can always spot it, the passive-aggressive energy building before the real explosion. And sure enough, it always blows up the same way. Viral street fights, screaming matches on Instagram Live, police calls, all the chaos that should never be brushed off. But instead, they and their teams dress it up as just drama for the public. And this right here is exactly what it looks like when that tension finally boils over, caught on camera for the world to see.
Right, dude? Bro, that's not good, bro. Damn, dude. Bro.
After that comes the classic justification and denial phase. Blueface flips the script, calls Chrisean crazy, and makes her the problem. Meanwhile, she ends up crying, broken down, blaming herself, and saying people just don't understand him. That's straight textbook gaslighting. They normalize it, package it like passion, when in reality, it's abuse playing out live for millions to see. Here's Blueface himself calling her crazy and insisting she overreacts, flipping it like he's the victim, and then the reset button gets smashed. They circle back together for the baby or out of loyalty, and boom, the same cycle starts all over again. Fans watch the wreck unfold like deja vu every single time. And not gonna lie, when you put that whole toxic pattern side by side with Chrisean's claim about Lil Baby, it doesn't sound too far-fetched at all. If she's already been treated publicly like property, tossed around in fights and headlines, why wouldn't she believe another powerful man in the industry might be trying to use her the exact same way? And here's the wildest part. Every single twist keeps dragging more people into the chaos. Because while Chrisean and Blueface can't seem to leave each other alone, Lil Baby's name is stuck in the middle like collateral damage. And now fans are starting to say this whole thing isn't just about relationships or custody, it's about power plays in the industry. Think about it. Blueface keeps weaponizing Lil Baby's name. Chrisean flips his denial into proof. And meanwhile, the sugar daddy allegation is still floating around. Too explosive to ignore. Even though Lil Baby already shut it down, people can't stop dissecting the way he reacted, the timing, the tweets. Everything feels like it's got another layer to it. And this is where the story gets darker, because it's not just a headline anymore. It's people questioning how women in the industry get treated, especially when they're vulnerable. Chrisean isn't the first woman to say she felt lined up by powerful men. But the fact that this is tied to two of the biggest names in hip-hop makes it way harder to dismiss. Fans are split, half clowning her like she's doing too much, the other half whispering that maybe, just maybe, she's dropping breadcrumbs to something real.
If I'm intoxicated and I beat your ass, nobody's gonna say anything about me gaslighting, about me intoxicated, about what you did. They're gonna say no. Blue couldn't control himself. He got out of his emotions and her up, send him to jail. It's a double standard.
It's not a double standard.
You're an idiot.
If I get mad just like
You're an idiot.
No, now you trying to say I do it first.
You do.
All the time.
You do.
And Blueface. He's still fanning the flames, jumping online acting like he's the victim, while Chrisean is crying on live saying she's fighting for her baby's future. It's messy, heartbreaking, and scandalous all at once. And the scariest part is, no matter who you believe, the damage is already done. Lil Baby's name is now forever tied to this drama. Blueface looks even more unstable. And Chrisean? She's stuck in the middle, fighting to prove she's more than somebody's pawn in a game far bigger than her. But here's the kicker. Just when people thought things couldn't get any wilder, Chrisean hinted she's got more receipts tucked away. On Live, she told fans that if Blueface keeps pushing, she's ready to spill everything she knows. And that put the internet on edge. Because if what she already said was this explosive, imagine what else she might hold back. That little tease set social media on fire. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about a messy relationship, it turned into a guessing game about what she might expose next. Some fans swore she's sitting on screenshots and texts that could prove her side. Others said it was all talk, another way to keep the spotlight on her. Either way, the tension shot up to a whole new level. And while the internet buzzed, Blueface did what he always does. Doubled down, threw shade, and made himself the loudest voice in the room. He didn't just deny Chrisean's claims, he tried to flip them, painting her as delusional, desperate, or flat-out lying. It's the same cycle we've seen before, but this time, Lil Baby's name is caught in the crossfire. Now, here's where it gets sinister. Fans are starting to wonder whether Chrisean can simply walk away. If she really was pulled into shady setups behind the scenes, silence might not be an option. And when you look at her history with Blueface, the gaslighting, manipulation, and abuse, her story about Lil Baby starts to feel a lot less far-fetched.
Thing is jail talk. You feel me? Blue's not broke, yo. He got money. When I get mad, I call him a broke because he be doing broke shit. Like, stop playing. You feel me?
So the big question now, is Chrisean about to drop real proof and shake the entire industry? Or is this just another messy chapter in a never-ending cycle that leaves everyone more confused than before? Either way, the internet is watching, waiting, and bracing for the next explosion. And you can't deny, it makes her story hit different. Because if we've already seen Chrisean trapped in Blueface's toxic cycle, it's not hard to imagine her being exploited outside of it too. That's exactly what makes the industry's silence around her sugar daddy claim even scarier. As shocking as it sounds, people don't know whether to believe her, and that's because of her reputation. Let's be real, Chrisean built her name on chaos. The fights, the tearful lives, the public meltdowns, fans have seen it all. So when she drops something this heavy, there's always a crowd that shrugs it off like, oh, she's just being dramatic again. But here's the flip side. Even in her wildest moments, there are flashes where she looks too raw, too broken to ignore. That live where she cried about her baby, that wasn't trolling. That was pure pain pouring out. And when she turned around and claimed Lil Baby tried to set her up for his sugar daddy, the way she said it didn't sound like clout chasing, it sounded like a desperate cry to finally be heard. And that's what makes this so complicated. On one hand, her chaotic history makes people doubt her. On the other, there are receipts of how Blueface treated her. Receipts showing she really has been used, controlled, and humiliated before. So when she says another powerful man in the industry tried to exploit her, it doesn't sound impossible. It sounds like the kind of ugly truth nobody wants to admit out loud. That's where the real tension sits. Because if Chrisean is telling the truth, this isn't just baby mama drama. This is a superstar rapper allegedly trying to pass her off to his wealthy sugar daddy for threesomes. And if that's real, the industry's silence says everything. So don't get too comfortable. The way Chrisean keeps talking, it feels like she's not done yet. And whatever she exposes next might be even worse. Before you dip, make sure to smash that like button if you're riding with us, tap subscribe if you're a real one, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single messy update. Trust me, you're going to want to be here for the next one.